Hello everybody. I'd like to share with you today a story about partners in crime. Two thieves decided to get together to break into the house of Mr. Reichman, who was known to have a fantastic collection of silverware. One climbed up the ladder and broke into the window, and the other guy waited downstairs in the courtyard of the building. The one that was inside took out his sack and started collecting up all the silver, went to the window and threw it out the window to his friend that was waiting downstairs. The guy that was waiting downstairs took the sack, put it in his van and drove off. Where did he drive off? Straight to the black market. There they took Mr. Reichman's collection, which was supposed to be worth about $500,000, and sold it for $100,000. That's the way things work on the black market. The $100,000 they split half-half, each one got $50,000, and they went their separate ways. Unfortunately, one of them was caught. The guy that had been waiting downstairs was caught. Of course, he wouldn't say anything about his partner in crime. How much was he made to pay? He didn't have the property anymore, and he certainly wasn't going to say to whom he'd sold it. He has to pay, of course, the full $500,000. Even though he kept trying to claim, but I didn't do it all by myself, I had a partner. Doesn't make any difference. You're the one we've caught. Either give us your partner and he'll pay half, or you have to pay the whole thing. So our thief was made to pay the full value of the property that he'd stolen, the full $500,000. Years went by, and in the end, our thief became a complete Baal Tshuva. Moved to Jerusalem, was learning in yeshiva next to the Kotel HaMaravi. It came to Erev Yom Kippur, and he went to the Kotel. And at the Kotel, who did he meet? The other thief. His partner. The two hugged and kissed. Wow, we haven't seen each other for so many years. And then, suddenly he remembered, hang on a sec, you remember that last theft that we did from Mr. Reichman, his collection of silver? I got caught, and I had to pay $500,000. So you owe me $250,000. His partner in crime, however much of a Baal Tshuva he was, started thinking about having to pay $250,000 right now. He said, hang on a sec, I don't owe you anything. I didn't steal from you. Who says I have to pay you anything? The first thief says, of course you do. I was caught. I paid on your behalf. I didn't pay just for myself. You stole together with me. Here you are at the Kotel HaMaravi on the eve of Yom Kippur, and you're going to deny a clear debt that you owe me? The two decided to go and discuss this with their rabbi. What is the obligation of partners in crime? What is their obligation to each other? Is our first thief, the one that was caught, is he right in his claim that his partner now has to pay him back the $250,000, half of what he paid? This is an actual question that actually came in front of one of the great poskim, the Chavot Yair. The first thing that he writes about this case is that in the whole of the Talmud, we don't have anywhere that tells us what the relationship is between these two thieves and how we're supposed to divide their debt. But we do have other places that are similar, and from those we can learn maybe to our case. The first thing that we should look at, he says, is the case of partners who took a loan together. Two partners who took a loan, let's say they took $100,000 loan for their business, and the business went bust, and one of the partners ran away. What's the obligation of the partner that's left? Can he say, well, I'm only going to pay half of the loan because I had a business partner here. It wasn't all my debt. Or no, is he responsible for paying the whole debt? And if he is responsible for paying the whole debt, what happens when he meets his partner afterwards? Does his partner have to pay him back or not? Here the halacha is very clear. Shulchan Aruch rules that two partners in a business who take a loan together are considered as owing half of the loan and being a guarantor for half of the loan. That means that if they just catch one of the two partners and he has to pay the whole loan back, he pays half of the loan back as his personal debt and half of the loan as a guarantor for his partner's debt. When you pay a loan as a guarantor, you can always get your money back. So in the case of our two partners who took a loan together, if one of them ran away, the one that's remaining is going to have to pay the full 100,000. But when he meets his friend, he can get back from him, his partner, he can get back from him the 50,000, because that's the halacha with partners to a loan. Each one owes half and is a guarantor for half. That's clear. So if we were to compare our case of two thieves to two partners, then we have a clear answer to our question, that yes, the other thief now, even though it's so many years later, has to pay back the thief that was caught and had to pay all the money, because he paid on behalf of his partner as a guarantor, and a guarantor always gets paid back. But then says the Chavot Yair, maybe that's not the case that we're going to have to compare the case of two thieves to, because there's another case in the Shulchan Aruch, and that's the case of two people who do damages together. Let's say that you and me, together, we took a hammer and smashed a window. If they were to catch me, I'd have to pay all the damage. And if they were to catch you, you'd have to pay all the damage. And if they caught both of us, we'll pay half each. In the case of where we both broke a window, simultaneously, we both took a hammer, smashed the window, but at the same moment, we both smashed the window. In such a case, if they catch me, I have to pay the whole thing. Can I claim back from you half when I meet you? No. Why? Because here, I did all the damage by myself. I didn't need you to help me do that damage. You're right, you also did the damage. We took a hammer, each one of us together, and smashed the window simultaneously. But seeing as I could have broken the window by myself, and I didn't need your power to help me to do that, so I did all the damage. If they just caught you, it's you that did all the damage, because you didn't need me. So each one of us did all the damage. So in such a case, the halacha is that if they just catch one of us, he'll have to pay all the damage, but he won't be able to claim back half when he meets his partner later on. Not like the case of the loans. What about in a case where I couldn't do the damage by myself? Let's say it's reinforced glass. And if we hadn't both hit the glass together, it wouldn't have smashed. In such a case, I actually only owe half because I didn't do all the damage. I couldn't have done all the damage by myself. So I only owe half, and you only owe half. And if they catch me by myself, I can't be made to pay more than half, because that's all I did. But so we have here a bit of a dilemma. To which case are we going to compare our case of two thieves? Are we going to compare it to the case of two partners who took a loan? In which case we're going to say that now, so many years afterwards, the thief that wasn't caught will have to pay back his partner in crime. Or if we say no, it's similar to the case of two people that did damages. Both were needed to do the damage. And if both were needed to do the damage, then each one owes the whole thing by themselves. And since one of them's already been caught and paid all the damages, so there's no further debt from the other guy. To which one will we compare them? The Chavot Yair says we have to compare it to the case of two people that did damages. Partners that did damages. Partners in crime, partners to steal is like partners to do damage. Damaging and stealing are really both in the same parsha, let's say. But nevertheless, the ruling was, and because of that, the ruling is that the thief that was caught and had to pay everything, he paid it all on his behalf. Because here, did he need his partner to complete the theft? It would seem like he did. And if he needed his partner to complete the theft, then it should be that each one only owes half. But says the Chavot Yair, seeing as the second guy, the guy that was waiting down in the courtyard, he actually took all the stolen property and removed it from the domain of the owner. When the first guy threw it downstairs, it hadn't yet left the property of the owner. It's in the communal courtyard down below. Only when it was picked up from the courtyard down below and put in the van, only then is there a final act of theft. Only then has it been removed completely from the property of its owner. And that's why, ruled the Chavot Yair, that it's the thief down below did a whole act of theft by himself. Even though we're comparing it to the case of two people that did damages, seeing as the guy down below did actually all the damage by himself, by removing it from the domain of its owner, so he alone can be held responsible for the whole thing. And so now that he meets his friend, he can't claim half the money back from him. Thank you.